Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar AI Ethics in Legal Practice What Every Lawyer Must Understand Before Deploying AI. Thank you for joining us for this session. I am Karina, and joining me today are Sanjeev, Mohammed Anas, and Shruti. Today, we are excited to explore the critical intersection of technology and professional responsibility, focusing on how AI is transforming modern legal practice in 2026. We will discuss how ethics driven AI solutions can streamline matter management, enhance document review, and improve operational efficiency while establishing the governance frameworks, data protection measures, and human oversight necessary to safeguard both your clients and your practice. We are also honored to have our CEO, Mr. Brijesh Shedan, with us today. Mr. Brijesh is a legal tech entrepreneur based in Dubai with over 25 years of expertise in emerging technologies. He is a recognized authority in legal technology consulting with extensive knowledge of technology trends and the practical application within the legal sector. We have planned this session to last approximately 20 to 25 minutes. We appreciate your support and cooperation throughout the webinar. To ensure a smooth and uninterrupted experience for all participants, we kindly request that you remain muted during the session. Now let's begin. Now, before we dive into details, let's take a quick look at today's agenda. We have structured this webinar into several key areas to help you understand both the opportunities and responsibilities associated with AI in legal practice. First, we'll explore how AI is being adopted across law firms and legal departments and why ethics has become such an important consideration. Next, we'll discuss the five key ethical challenges every lawyer should understand: confidentiality, bias, transparency, accountability, and accuracy. After that, we'll review the evolving regulatory landscape and discuss governance frameworks that help firms to manage AI related risks effectively. We'll then look at practical best practices for responsible AI deployment and explore the role legal technology platforms play in supporting ethical AI adoption. Finally, we'll introduce the software and summarize the key takeaways from today's session. With that overview in mind, let's start by looking at the growing role of AI in legal services. Now, let's take a look at where the legal industry stands today. AI adoption is no longer a future trend, it is already a reality. Recent studies show that approximately 67% of law firms are now using AI tools in some capacity. And these tools are helping legal professionals to automate research, review contracts, manage compliance tasks, and support litigation activities more efficiently than ever before. For example, imagine a law firm involved in large merger transaction. Traditionally, lawyers might spend days or even weeks reviewing hundreds of contracts to identify key clauses and risks. Today, AI can analyze thousands of pages within minutes and highlight critical information for further review. This significantly reduces manual effort and allows lawyers to focus more on strategic decision making and client advisory work. However, as the AI becomes more integrated into legal workflows, it also introduces new ethical and professional responsibilities. And that's exactly why we are having this conversation today. At this point, you might be wondering, why are we focusing so much on ethics instead of technology features? The answer is simple. The legal professional is built on trust, confidentiality, accountability, and professional judgment. Every decision lawyers make can directly affect businesses, individuals, and legal outcomes. Imagine this scenario, like if an online shopping platform recommends the wrong product, the consequences are usually minor, right? However, if an AI system used by a law firm mishandles confidential information or generates inaccurate legal advice, the consequences can be severe. Clients may suffer financial losses, legal rights may be affected, and the firm's reputation could be damaged. At the same time, regulators around the world are increasing the scrutiny of AI systems. Therefore, ethical oversight is no longer optional. It has become a fundamental requirement for responsible AI adoption. Now that we have discussed why ethics matters, let's look at the four core pillars of AI ethics. These principles help organizations to deploy AI responsibly while maintaining professional standards. First is fairness and transparency. AI systems should treat all individuals fairly and avoid biased outcomes. Legal decisions must always be based on objective and equitable principles. Second, accountability and human oversight. Regardless of how advanced AI becomes, lawyers remain responsible for every decision which is made on behalf of their clients. AI should support professional judgment, not replace it. Third, privacy and data protection. Client confidentiality remains one of the most important responsibilities in legal practice. AI systems must protect sensitive information through secure environments and strong governance controls. Finally, explainability and accuracy. Lawyers should be able to understand, explain, and defend the reasoning behind AI assisted recommendations before relying on them. These four principles form the foundation of responsible AI use in legal practice. Now that we have explored the importance of AI ethics and the foundation of responsible AI in legal practice, I would like to hand over the session to Anas, who will take us through our first ethical challenge. Thank you. Over to you, Anas.
Thank you, Karina. Hello, everyone. I'm Anas, and I'll be discussing our first ethical challenge confidentiality and data privacy, and why protecting client information is a fundamental when using AI in legal practice. For legal professionals, protecting client information is not just a best practice, it's a professional obligation. Today, many AI tools are easily accessible and highly convenient. However, convenience should never come at the expense of confidentiality. Imagine this situation. A lawyer copies a confidential merger agreement into a public AI chatbot to generate a summary. While summary may be helpful, there is also a risk that the information could be stored, processed, or used beyond the firm's control. This creates a serious confidentiality concerns. To mitigate these risks, the law firm should implement strict access controls, use secure and isolated AI environments, establish strong data governance policies, conduct thorough vendor security assessments, and to simply put, client trust begins with protecting client data. Now let's move on to our second challenge, bias and fairness. AI systems learn from historical data. The challenge is that the historical data may contain existing biases and AI can unintentionally reproduce those patterns. For example, imagine an AI tool designed to predict the litigation outcomes. If the training data primarily represent a case from a specific jurisdiction or demographic group, the recommendations may not accurately reflect the broader legal realities. This can result in unfair assessments, inconsistent advice, and potential reputational risks for the law firms. So, what can we do about it? Organizations should regularly audit AI systems for bias, use diverse data sets, and ensure that the human experts review AI generated recommendations before acting on them. Remember, fairness is not just automatic, it requires continuous oversight. Next Let's discuss the third challenge, transparency and explainability. Many advanced AI systems operate as what we often call as a black box. And in other words, the system provides an answer, but the reasoning behind that answer may not be immediately clear. For legal professionals, this creates a significant challenge. Imagine standing before a client or a judge and being asked why a particular recommendation was made. Saying that the AI generated was the conclusion, i- it is not a sufficient explanation. Lawyers must be able to understand and justify the reasoning behind legal decisions. And that's why explainable AI is becoming increasingly important. Organizations should prioritize AI tools that provide transparency into how conclusions are generated and maintain documentation of AI assisted inputs. Ultimately, transparency builds trust, strengthens accountability, and improves legal defensibility. Next, let's talk about accountability, which is one of the most important principles in AI governance. No matter how AI becomes, responsibility ultimately remains with the lawyer. AI can assist in research, drafting, analysis, and recommendations, but it cannot assume professional responsibility. For example, if an AI tool incorrectly identifies a legal risk and that advice is shared with the client without a proper review, accountability does not lie with the software vendor. It lies with the legal professional who relied on that output. And that is why firms need a clear governance structures. So first, establish policies that define how AI tools can be used. Second, implement approval process to ensure proper oversight. Third, maintain audit trails that record when and how AI was used. Ultimately, AI should support the legal judgment, not just replace it. Now let's examine another critical challenge, accuracy and reliability. One of the most discussed risks associated with AI today is something known as AI hallucination. This occurs when the AI system generates information that sounds convincing but is actually incorrect. For example, an AI tool might create a legal citation, statute, and or a court case that simply does not exist. In fact, there has been a real world incidents where the lawyers submitted court fillings containing AI generated citations and that were later found to be fabricated. The consequences included fines, reputational damage, and professional embarrassment. At the same time, AI systems may not always have the access to the most legal recent developments, legislative updates, or court decisions, and that is why verification is essential. The golden rule is simple. Always validate AI generated content against authoritative legal sources before relying on it. Now that we have explored the key ethical challenges surrounding AI in legal practice, it's important to understand the regulatory frameworks that govern its responsible use. To take us through the regulatory landscape for legal AI, I would like to hand over to Shruti. Thank you, and over to you, Shruti.
Thank you, Anas. Hello, everyone. I'm Shruti, and I'll be talking about the regulatory landscape for legal AI and what it means for legal professionals today. Around the world, governments and regulatory bodies are introducing new frameworks to govern AI. First, we have AI specific regulations. For example, the European Union AI Act classifies certain legal AI applications as high risk systems and imposes strict requirements around transparency, accountability, and human oversight. Second, data protection laws such as GDPR and CCPA continue to regulate how client information is collected, stored, and processed. Third, professional conduct bodies increasingly expect lawyers to understand and supervise the technologies they use. Looking ahead, we can expect more mandatory audits, higher expectations around accountability, and additional compliance obligations. Organizations that prepare early will be in much stronger position. So, how can law firms move forward confidently while managing these risks? The answer lies in building a structured AI governance framework. First, Firms should establish clear policies regarding approved AI tools and acceptable use cases. Second, every AI solution should undergo a thorough risk before deployment. Third, a formal approval process and audit trail should be implemented to ensure transparency and accountability. Fourth, qualified legal professionals must maintain oversight of all AI generated outputs. And finally, firms should continuously monitor AI performance to identify potential issues related to bias, accuracy, and compliance. Good governance helps organizations use AI safely, responsibly, and with confidence. Before deploying any AI solution, it is important to pause and ask few critical questions. This checklist provides a practical framework for responsible implementation. First, define the objective. What problem are you trying to solve and how will AI support the goal? Second, conduct a risk assessment. Evaluate potential risk related to data privacy, compliance, liability, and operational impact. Third, validate outputs. Never rely on AI generated legal content without independent verification. Fourth, protect confidentiality. Ensure strong access controls and governance measures are in place. Finally, train and monitor. Even the best technology requires knowledgeable users and ongoing oversight. Following these steps can significantly reduce while maximizing values. Now, let's turn these ideas into practical steps that lawyers can use every day. There are four best practices I would encourage every legal professionals to follow. First, keep humans in loop. AI should support decision making, but final responsibility must always remain with legal professionals. Second, verify everything. Every citation, legal conclusion, and recommendation should be checked against trusted sources. Third, document AI usage. Maintain records showing when and how AI tools were used during legal work. Finally, stay compliant. Always align AI usage with professional conduct requirements, firm policies, and applicable regulations. These simple practices can significantly reduce while maintaining client trust. At this stage, you may be thinking that managing all these controls manually sounds challenging, and you are absolutely right. This is where legal technology platforms play a critical role. Rather than relying on standalone AI tools, legal technology platforms integrate AI within structured and controlled workflows. For example, imagine generating a document summary. A legal technology platform can automatically record who initiated the request, where the data originated, who reviewed the output, and when the final approval was granted. This creates transparency, accountability, auditability without increasing administrative burden. At the same time, built-in compliance controls help ensures that AI is used consistently and responsibly across the organization. Now that we have explored the key regulatory considerations for responsible AI adoption, let's see how these principles can be applied in practice. To introduce Beveron Smart Lawyer Office, I'd like to hand over to Sanjeev. Thank you. Over to you, Sanjeev.
Thank you, Shruti. Hello, everyone. I'm Sajeev, and I'll be introducing Beveron Smart Lawyer Office software and show how it helps legal terms streamline operations while supporting responsible AI adoption. Let us explore how technology can turn these principles into everyday legal practice. Beveron Smart Lawyer Office is comprehensive legal operations that platform designed for modern law firms and legal departments. It brings together litigation management, case tracking, documentation management, and workflow automation, and collaboration of tools within single secure environment. Most importantly, ethical AI is built directly into the workflows, helping organizations maintain transparency, accountability, and compliance while improving operational efficiency. So, what does this mean for law firms in practice? Let's look at some of the key benefits. Firstly, improved operational efficiency. Routine and repetitive tasks can be automated, allowing legal professionals to focus on higher value work. Secondly, centralized visibility. Managers gain real time insights into cases, documents, and team activities through a unified dashboard. Third, enhanced governance and compliance. Built in audit trials and monitoring capabilities supports regulatory and professional obligations. Finally, secure information management. Strong access controls and secure environments help protect confidential client information. Together, these capabilities enable firms to leverage AI responsibility while maintaining control. Looking at the future of AI in legal practice is not about replacing lawyers, it is about enhancing their capabilities. We are moving towards a future where lawyers and AI work together more effectively. AI will continue to improve productivity, accelerate research, and support decision making. However, human judgment and critical thinking and ethical responsibility will remain essential. At the same time, regulatory frameworks will continue to evolve and establish clearer standards for responsible AI usage. The firms that succeed will be those that balance of innovation with professional responsibility. In other words, the future belongs to the organizations that adopt AI thoughtfully and ethically. Before we conclude, let's quickly recap the key messages from today's session. First, AI is a powerful tool that can transform legal research, drafting, and decision support. Second, ethics must remain at the center of every AI development deployment decision. Third, professional judgment is irreplaceable. AI should assist lawyers, not replace them. Fourth, strong governance frameworks help reduce risk and ensure accountability. And finally, legal technology platforms provide the structure needed for compliant, transparent, and responsible AI adoption. These principles will help organizations to maximize benefits of AI while protecting client trust. Ultimately, the future of AI will be shaped not only by the technological innovation, but also by how responsibly we choose to use it. AI has tremendous potential to improve efficiency, accuracy, and decision making across legal operations. However, these benefits can only be realized when AI is guided by transparency, accountability, fairness, and human oversight. Organizations that prioritize responsible AI today will be better positioned in the build trust, reduce risk, and lead the profession tomorrow. Simply put, responsible AI is not just a compliance requirement, it is a strategic advantage. Thank you for your participating in today's webinar. We would greatly appreciate your feedback. Please take a moment to complete a feedback form share in the chat. Your feedback helps to improve future sessions and deliver content that is most relevant to your needs. If you would like to have a live demonstration of a smart layer office or additional resources, please visit Beveron's website. Thank you once again for your valuable time.
Thank you for joining us for today's webinar on AI ethics in legal practice, what every lawyer must understand before deploying AI. We hope the session provided useful insights into both the opportunities and responsibilities associated with AI in legal services. As AI continues to evolve, ethical leadership will become increasingly important for every legal professional. We appreciate your participation and look forward to welcoming you to future webinars. Thank you for your time and valuable participation.